right.
Okay.
We're all
We're
live.
here.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hey, all.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. The weird guy in the corner here is just here to ask some questions and get things started, moderate a little bit, and kick it over to the band. But most of this, hopefully for everybody viewing, jump in with questions. I'll be watching for the questions to put up on the screen for everybody and focus on the band.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. As everyone knows, well, not everybody knows, but hopefully the people that are on this stream know, our In the Blind album, Evolve and Escape, came out today officially. It's been a long time coming, but we're super psyched about it. It turned out really good, and I think that everybody on this call certainly is pleased with it. And hopefully those out there who've heard it already like it as well. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yes. I very, very much like the album.
Yeah.
I think it would be incredibly poor taste if you did not at least give it a listen.
Give it a shot.
Agreed.
Give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot.
It's definitely better than Taylor Swift's new record. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude, Taylor Swift crashed Ticketmaster. I don't think we've done that quite yet.
No, and don't get me in my high horse about the joining of forces of Live Nation and Ticketmaster. I can't believe that monopoly is allowed to exist.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I totally agree with that.
Hate that.
So, Mike, do we have any questions coming in yet or no?
None coming in yet, but one we'll start with is, given the fact that this is an interesting collection of individuals, maybe talk a little bit about how you all came together and started to work together.
Well, I got an idea. Why don't we go through and introduce ourselves?
Oh.
Firstly,
that sounds good. You go first then, Josh.
And okay, I'll lead by example here. I'm Josh. I dabble in vocals. Before this, I was in a band called Me Gosh. That's where I met Jason. And we did some touring together. It was cool. And yeah, we decided to start a band.
That's what happened.
That's it.
That's
exactly.
That's the whole story.
So pretty much none of you guys really need to say anything.
Ye Old. It was originally called Ye Old Bastards, but we decided that wasn't a great name. So
I'm still mad about that change, you know.
Bill, what do you?
Well, so hi, my name's Billy. I'm gonna go by Billy in this band, I think, instead of Bill. I used it a little bit, you know. No. I spent many years in my misspent youth, and my misspent old age, I suppose, too, in a band called Nothing Face. I've known Jay, Willie, and Esminger here for Esminger, is that the correct pronunciation, John?
It's Ensminger, but you're close.
Esminger?
Ensminger.
I've never said your last name. I don't think ever in my life.
Really?
For 100 years.
Not even in your dreams? I find that hard to believe.
Well,
Ensminger.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, anyways, those two guys I've known for
Since
a
the
long time.
90s.
Since the 90s. Josh, I've known in the 2000s. But yeah, so we used to, Dog Fashion Disco and Nothing Face did some tours together. Jason and I seemed like, from what I remember, and memory's not what it used to be, but I feel like we always said things like, we got to do a project together one day. And then 3 years later, we got to do a project together and then, we're 15 years later.
Our phone call 3 years later, we need to do something.
Finally, Jason got frustrated and just did it and told me it was happening, and then I did it. And then here we are.
Sure.
Just like that, like magic.
Sounds like I'm more aggressive than I actually am.
No, that's what it was. I cried a little.
Right on. Well, we're getting lots of comments in this comment section, but John,
I'm not even seeing the comments.
You're on private chat.
What?
Conservative comments. You're probably on private chat.
Comments.
There's chat.
Now it's all fucked. What's up with that tape?
Hold on.
He's Michael Jackson all of a sudden.
Oh, here they are. I bite my nails till they bleed, guys.
Aw.
Wow, there is people here. Wow, that's crazy. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine, Josh.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Silver alert. Silver alert.
All right. Well, for those who don't know, my name is John. Correct last name pronunciation is Ensminger. Todd Smith and I had the same bus stop back in 1991 and started a little band called Dog Fashion Disco. And then Jay and I joined Mighty Forces in 2005 when I returned to do Adultery, and we have been stuck at the hip ever since. We just did what was the count, Jay, on that discography I just sent you? We're like 30 some projects in. Yeah,
crazy.
At Right Way. So lots of stuff. Polka Dot Cadaver, El Creepo, Dog Fashion Disco, now In the Blind. Hopefully Bill and I will do some In for the Kill rocking out here in the coming years. So, but yeah, hi to all who don't know me, and hello again to those who do. And then I will leave it to Daddy Jay to introduce himself to those who may not know who he is. So, Dad, you're on.
Well, I think for watching this,
Bring it, Daddy J.
I'm Jason. I'm the guitarist in Dog Fashion Disco and Polka Dot Cadaver. In the Blind was sort of my brainchild. There are always a bunch of songs that I had that never seemed to have a home anywhere, and both stylistically and there's a different energy about them for sure than the stuff that we do with our other projects. Always wanted to do something with Bill. And John, of course, is the drummer on virtually everything that I write these days. So we had this record put together musically for a little bit before we employed Josh to come on and do it. And we auditioned a buttload of singers before Josh came in and took the job. So he was the man for the job. So we're definitely happy to have him involved. So yeah, we swiped left on a lot of people, and Josh we swiped right on. So happy to have you on, buddy. It's been a pleasure. So yeah, so that's this band. So it's energetic and odd time signatures and proggy and all of those things. So we're definitely pleased with the record and the material. So there's a freaking ton of people asking shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out, I don't know if he goes by Richard, but Richard Bussey is on, and he said he literally found our music today via a premiere that he happened on last night. So Richard, if you want to add another comment, if you don't go by Richard, we'd like to refer to you by your given name. But thank you very much. We're very happy to hear that you discovered it, and let us know what you think about the whole record when you get a chance to hear it.
Hey,
I
John.
saw a question that basically said, what's your guys' favorite tracks on the album? I thought that was a great question because, I think we all have different opinions of what the best song on the album is.
No doubt.
Well, since you brought it up, Josh, why don't you start? What's your favorite track on the upcoming Smash release, Evolve and Escape?
Hands down, The Devil and I.
Yeah.
Okay. The upcoming hit single, right? Is that the first single or a second single? I don't even know what the order is anymore.
I think
Number two.
I think that's going to be our second single since the album's release.
Okay.
So the album, just speaking of singles, so the album is going to rock radio in January. So the first single that'll be released to college and rock stations is called Call of the Void, which is the third track on the album. And I think probably, I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's certainly one of the most marketable, I would say. And I think that like judging by some of the comments that I saw online today, people are really digging that song. So as well they should, because it's fucking badass.
Agreed.
John, I know what yours is.
Oh,
Big Bussy.
Well, Richard said he goes by Dick, which in the 21st century are hard to believe, but amen, you do you. I had a neighbor growing up whose name was Richard Schum, Schum. I'm imagining it had an umlaut at some point in his native Germany. Probably went by Sherm at some point, but he went by Dick. And the whole time growing up, whenever my dad would say, "Hey, Dick," I couldn't help but laugh every time.
We're all very mature here.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Hey, Dick, we don't discriminate.
that's
No
right.
discrimination on Dick over here.
Listen, back to favorite tracks. I wanted to get my favorite track in because we already have a video for it, and it is Dear Optimistic. I think that song has probably, hands down, in my opinion, one of the best choruses on the album. Jay and I are both suckers for anything that's an over 8 time, and you got a 6/8 big anthemic chorus. You got a bridge in 5 with a halftime section in 5/4. I mean, come on. It's too good. It's too good. Dear Optimistic, my opinion, a number 1 on the record.
What do you think, Bill?
Right now, I'm on Welcome to America, but it switches every month or so. So
Well,
That's catchy, man. That's
yeah,
a catchy.
and Wolf in Disguise. I don't know.
So
Right.
that's, and I mean, there's the cool thing about this record too is there's lots of stuff on here that, like we've wanted to try forever and never did. Like there's a whole song that's in 5/4. So for the music nerds out there, that's most. It's not a traditional time signature. It's 5 beats in the measure, which makes it very difficult to sing on. And Josh fucking kills it. So it's not an easy thing to do to sing over an entire song that's in an odd time signature.
Well, what's
Yeah.
interesting about that song is that if you really want to get really nerdy, the subdivision on it is 3-3-2. So it's 1 2 3 1 2 3. No, it goes 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. So it's got a very it got an easy beat to follow. And believe it or not, the bridge part that I came up with is based off of a Vinnie Colaiuta part in the middle of a Sting song. And I'm trying to find out what it's.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah.
I
I almost called you out on it when we were tracking, but I was like, nah, I'm going to leave it.
It's called 7 Days. The song by Sting is called 7 Days, and it's in 5. And yeah, it's got that kind of same feel where it's not too difficult to keep up with. So
John, your
don't be
wife,
scared by odd times. Odd times are
your
fun.
wife says best album ever. So I'm sure her opinion isn't biased at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. So there's a bunch on here. Oh, I see Monica Arford. Monica Arford is a vice president at Enterprise Residential, whose son has become an enormous fan of our stuff, which I appreciate. Thank you, Monica.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, Cody.
Hey,
I see a lot of
Ed Lynch
see a
has
lot
an
of things.
interesting question, Jay, that I think you might want to tackle. Is what influences were you pulling from when writing the material? So where do you source your influence?
So this record, I think everybody on the call is a big Refused fan. I've always wanted to do a band that's similar, not similar to Refused, but influenced by Refused. So that's was the original the impetus for this project was doing something that was, and similar to that. And I mean, and the band, the original idea for it was that it was just going to be this completely energetic thing that almost felt like it was going to fall apart at the seams at any moment, which this isn't. This is a very very precise. Everything is in its place. The production is perfect. So, maybe that other idea is another band that we'll do at some point. But yeah, this band was supposed to be like a
thrashy.
And triumphant, like it's got this weird odd time signature prog thing, with this weird triumphant Iron Maiden thing at the same time. So yeah, it's all the stuff that we couldn't get away with in our other projects that we wanted to try to get away with in this one, and I think with pretty great success. So
yeah, I was able. This is one of the maybe the first project I've ever been in where all I did, at least on this first record, was play bass. I wasn't songwriting. I wasn't working on vocals with I did Nothing Face with Matt. So I just got to focus on just writing ridiculous parts when it was actually all sorts of stuff that I never got to do, just for dumb stuff that I've wanted to do. I just,
So
Like-
glad it made it on this record, Bill.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out perfectly. Like I got to like draw way back into like my old school like Stuart Ham, Billy Sheehan days, like these over the top chord tapping parts and just
Ridiculous. But that was the inside joke. Oh my God, what the heck is going on behind you?
what do you mean?
That was what the heck's going on? What happened?
What? I don't,
Is that Ash?
I don't know what you guys are looking at.
So, but that was like
It's
the
an old house though. Weird
At
things
least
happen.
It's an old house.
three of us when we were coming up with, like what we were going to do on it. The inside joke was like, hey man, do whatever the fuck you want. It's just, we're going to try to get away with anything we can get away with. If you ever wanted to try it on an album, try it on this one. So, and that's
Right.
pretty much what we did. I mean, there's some stuff on here that I don't think we've even attempted like anywhere else. So,
It occurs to me that I am one of the singers, although I'd already done the bass, but technically I'm one of the singers that auditioned for the band and didn't make it.
you actually are. Yeah, you get the hard pass.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Bill, when Jason called and said, "Hey, do you want to be in the band?"
Yeah.
I thought he was someone else.
Oh,
And when I
Oh, you
showed
were?
up, I was like,
Oh, it's a
these
different.
guys.
I know. I've kept that secret. Since you said it, it's out. Yeah.
As someone who wore out Nothing Face Skeletons when I was younger, this album scratches all those itches I forgot about. That's nice.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
and it makes sense, right? Because I mean, we're all from the same scene, same area. There's we kind of came up together, and all the
Well,
Jason, you did not basically all the songwriting for this record, so it makes sense. We're all pulling somewhat from the same resources, I guess.
oh, for sure. For sure. And honestly, man, like Skeletons to me, I mean, my favorite Nothing Face records were Atrocity and Violence. They're like 1A, 1B. But Skeletons, I think had slick writing and I thought slick production, which some of the others didn't have. But I like the others for, just the ferocity and,
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Hey, there's a question on here from Kate Locke who wants to know if there's anything we can find on YouTube. And yes, indeed, there are. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. Are there 4 songs up
Yeah.
now?
There's millions.
2 lyric videos and 2 live action
Millions.
videos.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, I should know the answer to this, but I don't exactly know if it's on.
You got a playthrough. You got a playthrough on there as well.
Yeah, that's there too.
Yeah.
Both Bill and I did Case for Killer, but
Right, that's right.
I'm not sure if it's on YouTube Music right now. We just signed a new distribution deal with it's called Blood Blast, which is a subsidiary of Believe, which is one of the biggest digital distribution companies in the world, which is awesome. So it's the company that Nuclear Blast Records started for their bands. So we just signed with them, and I'm not actually sure what services we're on at the moment. So usually it's just goes out to fucking everything. But this might be a little more selective. So I know for sure we're on all of the major stuff. But I'm not sure if we're on some of the smaller things, and I'm not sure if we're on YouTube Music, because YouTube has a weird thing about how it distributes permissions to play things. It's weird, but anyway, yeah. But there's 4 songs on there for sure.
There was another question as well. Somebody asked if we are planning to tour.
Well, when
The right tour comes along.
when there's an enormous band that wants to take us out on tour, I think that we could probably do. And honestly, like I think we could probably end up playing some stuff. I mean, even opening for our bands. I mean, who knows?
Right.
Sure.
It's all of that I think will happen, and I think we'll do some live stream stuff. And hey man, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, this is going to go to radio. I mean, who fucking knows? Like we could end up touring, doing all sorts of shit. But
There's nothing more than I miss than being in a van sweating with
that's why you're in a pop band.
a bunch of men.
You're just trying to skip over all that hard work and just go be fucking enormous.
Speaking of which, I got some Ella fans in the chat. I want to say hey to. So Sup, fans?
What's up? Yeah. No, they're that Pink Elephant shit is seriously badass. Yeah, Pink Elephants could be absolutely enormous. So when Pink Elephants is absolutely enormous, will you let In the Blind open for it, Josh?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that works. So what else is going on here? No, not the hair shoes. What's going on with hair shoes?
Hair shoes.
I don't know. Yeah, someone said that they were gonna. Yeah, Shane says he was gonna say Refused. Yeah, no, for sure. So the two songs on there that really I think draw from Refused more than anything are Evolve and Escape, which is actually a song that I had for quite a while. Like that song had existed for a few years before we used it. It just never had a home. Like it just wasn't. It wasn't anything. It wasn't a DFD song or a polka dot song. It wasn't any of those things. It was its own thing. And we just never used it. And from that, I think Welcome to America is another one. Oh shit.
Well, those were the first two, Jay, that you and I worked on. Evolve and Escape. That opening riff was the first thing that I heard from this record, and I was like, oh yeah, I think we might be onto something here.
That's in 15/8 too, by the way.
Yes. To those theory nerds in the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, that and Welcome to America. Yeah, those are the two that we started working on first, and then it grew from there, and it turned into. I mean, yeah, I hate to pigeonhole and say that we keep coming back to Refused, but it's not just Refused. I mean, there's the fact that all four of us come from pretty varied musical backgrounds in our own right, and bring so much different to the table. And yeah, this was an opportunity for us to do, to play outside of any confines. There was no pretense to this. Like, hey, we're just doing this for fun, and then it just kept getting better and better and better as each person did their thing. Before we knew it, we're like, man, this is really, really good.
Yeah, it ended up being like absolutely far exceeding expectations for what the record started out as. Like it turned into this thing that I think is among some of our best work, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody did a great job on the album, and I mean, In the Blind is it's like an intersection between, I don't know, like Refused and Mars Volta and Mastodon, and in ways it's just like this weird intersection between all these bands, and it does, like I said before, have this weird triumphant riding into battle thing sometimes, like on horseback with a plates of armor.
Yeah. An archer on horseback.
Yeah.
I'll say I did take a
Mike's in.
vocally. I did take a lot of inspiration from I was trying I did grow up listening to the Mars Volta, and I was thinking to myself man, here's an opportunity to do something different, because that's what we were trying to do. We wanted to create something fresh and new, and with our previous inspirations. And I was like, man, what would Mars Volta sound like if they were just thrash and metal? And so I did take a lot of inspiration vocally from Mars Volta, as well as Protest the Hero, and keep getting Coheed and Cambria, but I didn't take any inspiration from. I grew up in Coheed.
I mean,
that guy can sing his ass off. I mean, thank you. That's great.
I never listened to that band until we got some comparisons, and I listened to some shit. They're pretty fucking badass, dude.
Oh yeah, they're nasty. They're nasty.
And another one that I got some comparisons to is that band, Nothing More. Some of their shit's hokey, but some of it's fucking badass. They've got some stuff that's pretty cool. And their singer does sort of sound like you a little bit too. So anyway, Mike, did you pop on to say something? You're muted.
You're muted. But you look good, but you're muted.
You're muted.
Still muted.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
He's still talking. Look at him. He's still talking.
Yeah.
Hey.
The tech guy can't find the mute button.
The tech guy.
Real quick, also, Mike, before you go, for those of you who are watching who don't know who Mike is, he was the genius behind all the making of cult classic DFD YouTube videos that we did, among other things. So Mike has been instrumental in a lot of stuff that we've done. So thank you to Mike as
Yeah, and is I wouldn't call him a razor to wrist employee because that would insinuate pay. But he's the closest thing we have to a razor to wrist employee now. So he's been a huge help to me, trying to run the day-to-day business operations of the label, which is very challenging when you're trying to also have a job beyond the label. So he's been a huge help. So thanks, Mike.
Yeah, well, and I'm also a fan, and as a fan, I can't comment because I'm in this thing. So I'm going to ask you a question directly, which is the name In the Blind. You know, I've noticed a lot of the art themes and everything. Can you talk about the name, where it comes from?
So In the Blind it's a term that astronauts use when they broadcast and they're not sure if they're being received. So they broadcast in the blind when it's like, we're fucked, broadcasting in the blind. So it's transmitting a message that you aren't sure if it's going to get heard or not. So which
Right.
I
Astronauts who are like Houston in the blind, and then you report whatever it is because you don't know if Houston is actually receiving you, but you're still going through the process of filing regular reports. So yeah, pretty cool idea. I like it.
Which I thought was an apt description of a new band. Like you go through all the work to make a great album and you're not sure if anybody's ever going to listen to it. So
Do you remember? Do you guys remember? I mean, good Lord, it must have been 30 years ago now when we were all at Space Camp, and you first came up with that name, and we're like, one day.
We weren't going to talk about that, Bill, because you touched me inappropriately, and I've been trying to suppress those memories.
No.
Somebody touched your no-no spot, and his name was Bill.
Different Bill.
Different Bill.
Listen on
Not many Bills out there.
Greg Plummer just piped in with a question there, Jay. Good Lord.
Who's that guy?
See that? Do you see that, Bill?
Plummer is one of my favorite people on earth, and he lives right up the street from me now.
Yeah.
And I still never see the guy, which is disappointing.
Got to walk through 3 feet of snow to get to his house.
Exactly.
And Greg's question is a great question. We could probably spend the rest of this time that we have, 2-3 hours, in my answer, which I'd like to do if everyone's okay with that. So what are some of the coping mechanisms I've learned to deal with the other inferior instrument players in the band? Well, are the instruments inferior? Are the members inferior? Both?
Wait, what was the question again?
The answer is yes.
What was the question again?
It's well, there it is. It's right there. So you have no choice because you have to get on with your life. There's always going to be other. I mean, let's just say it like it is. The worst part about being in a band that it's full of musicians. Right? So you do what you do. You play your bass. You hope they can keep up, and then you move on.
Yeah. So Greg is my old bass player from a band called Margaret Heater. That was the band I was in before I joined Dog Fashion Disco many years ago.
Greg,
we shared a stage. We shared the main stage at the 930 Club together.
Yeah. Like DFD opened for Margaret Heater at our CD release party. We opened for DFD for the Embryos in Bloom CD release party at Phantasmagoria.
Oh, wow.
Remember that? Yeah, we were there.
Wow, I forgot about that. Wow.
I found a flyer today that was and I actually have it on this computer, a digitized version of it. Nothing Face at the 930 Club with Dog Fashion Disco opening, and there was another band on the bill too. I got so much of that stuff.
Well, that was the night too that our guitar player Greg Combs at the time proposed to his now wife Kelly on stage.
That was it, and she said no, right? She said no, not yet.
She definitely said no. It was embarrassing. Yeah, she was like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
she was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. I'm holding out for Bieber. So Greg, yeah, man, thanks for the comment, dude.
Greg knew the answer.
It's literal. I live right up the road from him, and we still never see each other. It's not a great thing.
That's you and bass players. You can live less than a mile away from him. You're never going to see him. Like
I also lived less than a mile away from Bill for about 3 years. I never was at his house, not once.
He doesn't like guests.
Invite him to join a band. He doesn't even invite me over for dinner. It's okay.
It was funny when Jason said he was moving to Maine. he was like, yeah, I'm moving to Maine in a couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, and he's like, we don't hang out as it is.
It doesn't
And
matter.
I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Literally, man. Well, dude, that's like modern band life. Like
Yeah.
it used to be that you had to be in a place with everybody else. I mean, and I guess if you're just starting something new from scratch and you're trying to work together and build a chemistry, you have to do that. But with our projects, and even with this project, I mean, like, it's just plugging in different notes. That's it. You know, everything else is still there. Like, this collective group of people has made thousands of shows, not together, but thousands of shows. It's crazy, really.
Yeah.
I mean, John, I don't even know how many shows John and I have played together, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Bill, I mean, I don't how many tour dates did Nothing Face do, man? I mean,
like tens. I don't know.
tens of dates.
A lot. A
And I
lot.
know Migosh played a ton.
Tens.
So I mean, Migosh opened for DFD for almost 2 months on tour. So no, that was it. Polka Dot?
Tours. No, it was DFD.
Was it DFD? Okay,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
The Fat Americans tour.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, that was actually super fun. So,
Yeah,
And by the way, thanks to all the people in the comments that we can see over here that you guys probably can't see. They're all coming in at the same time. Just want to say thank you to all the kind words that are coming in for people saying they're enjoying the record. And my man Duncan, who I did a podcast with some time ago, said, "I'm so glad my heroes tried different approaches to art." So
And also,
appreciate you, Duncan.
your man Duncan admitted to the fact that bill was him. I don't know if you saw that, the Space Camp bill that made you uncomfortable.
Oh,
wait, he didn't say anything about being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
yeah.
inappropriate. That's right. That
You
doesn't mean
touched
I
me
love people.
inappropriately,
Right.
but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy
Doesn't mean
it.
you didn't like it.
Right. Exactly.
So Greg says he loves it. The new album sounds great. Hey, Greg, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Man.
I would like to ask everyone in the chat to put their favorite song. Off the
Right on.
album.
I saw a couple already. I did see a Dear Optimistic. I saw a Welcome to America. I think I saw a title track come through. But yeah, if people want to fire away with their favorites or their top three, or whoever they think.
We laugh here right now is Brad Smith just posted, Josh. So Brad Smith is a maintenance guy who works for the company that I work for. So I work in the corporate office, like basically in charge of the maintenance department. And Brad is a maintenance guy who is a huge Pink Elephants fan. So like this weird thing happened. Like
Small world.
Like it's totally small world. It's like, it's just funny. It's just pretty.
Well, isn't everybody in Baltimore related at some point?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, John, your wife's got good taste.
she does.
She chose The Devil and I. Look at that.
I know. Well, if you remember in the group text we had, I mentioned that. We were discussing what was going to be the #1 single, and I said, "Look, I got it from The Authority," and she says, "The Devil and I should be the first single," and that's what's happening. So I usually don't doubt her.
Second.
There's a lot of Devil and I coming in
What's
actually.
up?
So Jesse James, Jesse is the guitarist in a band called Beneath the Hollow, which we have signed to Razor to Wrist Records. So
Yes.
Welcome, Jesse. They just finished up or are finishing up their record with Machine, who is a world-renowned producer who just finished the latest Lamb of God record. So
He almost did a Nothing Face record. You know that?
he almost did.
He almost did. Yeah, he almost did
Almost
Violence.
did.
I think.
Yeah, so
Craig.
their record comes out of Razor to Wrist next year, so that's something. So they will benefit also from this new distribution that we just signed, which is awesome.
I do have a mini fridge. I have 2 mini fridges in here, Greg, and
Mm.
I won't tell you what's inside them.
You can have a microwave with stickers all over it. I think not.
Hey, is laptop guy here?
There
Well,
was
you
a
gotta
guy who was so
laptop
mad.
guys.
He was so mad because
Oh,
when the first single came out,
that's
because I
so
sent out
good.
free stickers, he was so mad that he put a free in the blind sticker on his laptop.
He wasn't a fan.
was not a fan.
I love Laptop Guy. I'm just gonna say it. I think he's
He
awesome.
is my favorite non-fan. He completely lost his cool over that.
Oh, first free sticker. Oh wow, you can't make everybody happy, nor can
No.
you try to make
Hell,
everybody.
you can hardly make anyone happy.
So if you go to our music videos on YouTube and you go through the comment section, anytime you see the comment, "Hey, is Laptop Guy here?" That's me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and incidentally, Josh, all the videos that we've done so far, Josh has done all the editing for all that stuff. He's a fucking beast. So
Yes.
I'm very happy to have someone with his particular skill sets available to do things for this band. It's nice. So, and he actually edited so the two most recent Dog Fashion Disco videos. So he did the video for Grand Experiment and what was the other one, John?
3 of them.
3?
K is for Killer.
No, the DFD.
Oh, DFD.
Black Omens.
Black Omens. Yeah, I was going to say Bad Omens, but that wasn't right.
I know.
And
That was a whole record ago, man. Like we're
Yeah.
we're onto the
the
new
lyric video.
This.
Yeah, there's stuff that's already like amongst us. There's stuff that's already recorded that we're moving on to. That will be released subsequently. I mean, this loosely associated group of musicians, whether it's in the Blind Dog Fashion Disco and all the other associated groups, we've averaged 1 to 2 releases a year, every year for the last, I think, like 16 or 17 years, something like that.
It's a
So when
lot.
we have something coming out, just know that there's at least 1 or 2 other projects that are either in the process of being written, have already been recorded, or what have you, and then will be coming out, in 2023 as an
And
example.
that doesn't include the records that these dudes have done.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
I completely like pull the entire curve down because I put out an in for the kill record every like 5 years. I totally screw up the whole curve, but
Yeah, Bill's in another. Well, that's a true solo band.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sort of how this started. Like I was calling it my solo project, but the truth is that this band has grown way beyond any of that. This is a true collaboration now, which is awesome, and I'm happy about. So
Matt, Jason can give you my info, and you're welcome to hit me up, and I can talk to you about editing.
yeah,
Richard wants to know what keeps us motivated.
Yeah, Mike just threw a question. I was going to refer to that one. Jay, if you want to read that one aloud, because that might be a good one for us to tackle as well.
what keeps you motivated? These days where you're like, I should do something else. I'm too old for this shit. The thought process behind the scenes that keeps you moving with the music, because I know there's more to it than lives and album releases. Well, it's. I mean, sometimes it's a struggle, man. I mean, like you try to stay motivated to do things, and always working on something new, and there's ups and downs with all of it. I think everybody would agree with that. And the music business is fucking tough, man. Like it is. I mean, it's just wrought with disappointment again and again and again. You just have to kind of ignore it, I guess. I mean, we keep making stuff. I mean, the one caveat that I can just speak to me and John that we've developed over the years is this. It's not a huge fan base, but it's a fan base that's incredibly loyal. And, if we continue to just make records for those people specifically, that's enough really I think for us. But I mean, of course we'd like more, we'd like to be bigger, all of the projects, but it's nice to put things up and have people respond to them and, be excited about it. So that's just my perspective,
Yeah, if any of us were planning on being, rich rock stars with houses in the canyons and all this, we all would have given up. I would have a long time ago.
Or join Pink Elephants.
Or join.
Right. Well, there's that. Yeah.
Josh, when you have a house in the canyon, we're gonna come hang out.
Well, what keeps me motivated is when Jay, honestly, I mean, I'm in a really unique and what's the word I'm looking for here? My position is that I am lucky enough to be associated with these guys. these guitars on the wall are mostly for decoration. I'm really good at detuning the E string and then just barring the top 3 strings and using my right hand to make rhythms, but I'm not a guitar player. So when it comes to all the music, I'm relying on these guys to, send me stuff and invite me along for the ride. So what keeps me motivated and going is knowing that I've always got killer tunes that I get to play drums to. And we've got, fan bases from our various associated projects that continue to say nice things about the music, and we occasionally get to play shows and we get to write and record music that makes us happy, that we all like to listen to. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I turn on Sirius XM, a lot of the shit that I hear on Octane and Liquid Metal is it's recycled, processed material. It's a lot of the same guitar tones, and all the drum sounds are the same. It's the same formula. And In the Blind, to me, doesn't sound like any of that stuff. So that's what keeps me motivated is putting out new and interesting material that I know our fan base likes, and I know that I get to play on, and I love playing on it, and I get to listen to what we write. So damn the torpedoes, just keep going.
And, back to my earlier comment about this being the only project where I've literally just played bass and done nothing else. Literally having a chance to play to John's drums, which I've known John as a drummer for a long time, but I've never played on anything with John. But I've always heard John's drumming and known as a bass player, as a rhythm section person, that it would be easy, first off, because he's badass. And there's a lot of room to work, the bass, the bass guitar as an instrument. So tracking bass on this stuff was really, really fun playing with the John's drum. I mean, playing the Jason's guitars, take it or leave it. But John's drums.
Right. Accurate. Oh, yeah. I mean, no.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say, Bill. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Same to you, obviously.
Yeah.
Dude, I have enough smoke blowing up my ass, man. If I could cut my ass down to size.
Well, it's funny. I walked into the studio and Bill was actually playing bass lines with his penis. It was incredible.
Well, I mean, is there another way?
I already got the way.
Are you telling me people usually don't?
Unfortunately, the bass is too large for me. I usually tickle the ukulele.
And only the high strings.
Yeah.
Well, little known fact around these parts about Josh is he's actually a really good guitar player too. So
that's not where I thought you were about to go.
I know.
But that's true.
It is true. It's all true. Yeah, that dude is a special talent. So
yeah,
lucky to have you around, buddy.
No, and you know what? If I could be a smokestack and blow a little bit more smoke this time your way, Josh, and I think John and Jason will agree that we loved this material existed as just music for quite a while, right? Because we had tracked the instruments, and that's what the three of us were just so used to hearing for so long. That those were kind of the songs for a minute, right? Yeah, and then when you started putting vocals on this stuff,
came alive.
I was like, holy shit! Like and I've said this 100 times. I almost stopped listening to the music, which to me, as someone who also works as a producer, that's when I know that we've got a vocal that means something. Yeah. So that was very cool.
I totally agree with that. I mean, it changed. You're exactly right, Bill. I mean, we listened to these songs for longer than we should have, just as music. Without and they get to a point where you almost don't even want a vocal on it because you're so used to hearing it a certain way. But yeah, they definitely came to life for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, so for everybody in the chat that doesn't know, I was the last member to join. The songs were actually already done.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Call of the Void was not. Call of the Void was I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to jump in on you, but yeah, Call of the Void was the only.
Right.
God, Jason. Good Lord.
But there's no mercy here. There's no mercy. Anyways, but yeah.
Like I was saying.
So I joined later, and the songs were, for the most part, already done. And it was interesting because not many projects have I not been there during the music writing. Yeah. So, and I was thrilled to write to something that they already had an idea to, because I was able to kind of put my fresh take on it and they probably didn't expect what it ended up being, and
Well, it kind of takes you out of your comfort zone, maybe a little bit. Like
it did. I mean, when you asked me, I was like, I don't even know if I can scream, and you're like, just try.
yeah,
Just
see what
try.
happens.
I'm like, all right. So a few blown vocal cords later,
Yeah.
There it is.
Hey, and Josh Rayner,
couple
yes,
nodules.
Josh wrote all the vocals himself. That was all him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard it was the guy from Coheed and Cambria wrote everything, and then Josh just re-sang it.
No,
Yeah.
I said it wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you read that wrong.
Yeah, sorry. Somebody did ask a while back, as it pertains to playing live, is if we were planning any, since the guys on this side, so Josh and Bill both live in the Baltimore area. I'm in Florida, and Jason is the opposite climate extreme. He is in Maine on the other end of what, about 1,500 or 2,000 miles of I-95 from here.
1,500 miles, I think, from you.
Yeah. So he asked if we were planning to do any Baltimore dive bar gigs, because we are good at doing Baltimore dive bar gigs. If there's one thing we're good at,
We could excel at it's that.
yes, it's Baltimore dive bar gigs. I would
We
love,
should do
again,
that.
Dude,
I would love to do it. What's interesting though is that it because where we all live and the gestation period for the project is that we only physically have actually learned and played 2 songs off the record together in the same room when we did the videos. So we would definitely require some rehearsal if we were going to play live to be sure, but I would definitely love to do it.
well, I can
As
tell you,
difficult as it would be for Bill and I to make a Baltimore show, we would be willing to make it
We would.
for
Yeah.
well,
Mr. Florida and Mr. Maine.
it would require some rehearsal, but I think I think those would be good rehearsals, and I think that
Yeah.
I think that it would be a fun band to rehearse and get good. So
Yeah.
I think we will do that. Like
We
it's
should live stream those rehearsals if anyone's interested.
perfect. I'm sure that would be well received. Did Brian famously, where can we get that sweet merch?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know where to get the sweet merch.
I think he's asking. It's probably a prompt, and Brian is doing a
Right.
nice job of prompting. So,
No.
as the only representative of the label, Jason, if you would like to let the fans know where they can purchase this sweet swag.
If they don't know where to get the sweet swag by now, I've been begging them to buy it for like a
You
month.
can click that picture, right?
You can. So listen, if guys want to support and go to
You look the right way.
.com or click this picture.
Oh my God, it's reversed.
Yeah, it's under no obligation at all. And listen, we just want everybody to hear the record and enjoy.
I give up.
So that's if you wanted to buy a T-shirt, that's great, and if you don't, that's fine too. Just go to Spotify and share those Spotify links with your friends and stuff. And I mean, this band is in the phase right now where it needs to just start to build a following. So like of its own.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, I mean, it just has to.
Yeah.
It has to exist on its own. Like
And grandparents.
of course, there'll be some people that are interested in it because of our other projects. But it could have a much different and wider reach than I think even some of our other bands could. So, and maybe that helps the other bands. And who knows? Who knows how it's all going to go? I have no fucking clue. But
This whole business is who knows, man. Come on, none of us are banking on anything at this point.
we made a really good album. So
We made a kick-ass album.
That's pretty
We're
much
proud of it.
where it's
Yeah.
at.
For sure.
If it ends up being something more than that, that's great. And if it doesn't, we'll make another kick-ass album. So, and we're making another kick-ass album anyway. So either way. Yeah. So evening all, congratulations on the album. Somebody dipped out. I say that I'd always rather go to a show with 30 fans who actually know the music than a show with 1,000 people who are just drunk there. I totally agree with that. Some of the best shows we've ever played in our life. Granted, I've never played in front of a stadium of people. That might be fun too. Bill has.
I have.
Have you played in front of a stadium?
I played South by
In the
So
parking
What.
lot. What's that?
Right
I
on.
played South by So What.
Actually, John, we played Sounds of the Underground. That was pretty. Were you there for that?
Me?
That was at Merriweather.
Yeah, that was yes, but it was middle of the day, and there weren't very many. It wasn't like we were right.
No, I mean, yeah, it wasn't like it was Merriweather full, but it was still pretty good.
No, for a 20-minute superset.
Nothing Face pre-Matt when Dave Gabbard was the singer. We opened for Joan Jett at Merriweather Post in 1994. That's right. Yep, and I was accosted by Joan Jett's private security for filming backstage, and
Accosted.
Yes, you like that's a good word, right?
I was accosted.
You know, it's a small world, Bill, because there's a guy, and maybe he's on. His name is John Gallahorn, and he and I went to middle school and high school together. His aunt went to Wheaton High School in Maryland the same time as Joan Jett was going to Wheaton High School, and apparently got in a fight, and John's aunt kicked the shit out of Joan Jett.
Oh, well.
Wow.
There you have it.
When in Wheaton.
Yeah. So when in Wheaton, exactly.
When in Wheaton.
So we're going to wrap this thing up at 7. We were going to do an hour. So if anybody else has any questions out there, we could.
Yeah, let's see. Let's speed this. Let's speed run through this.
Cody says we need sticker packs so that they can
Put it on the laptop.
Cody, I will send you as many stickers as you can carry.
On a laptop.
That is no issue at all. And patches. I owe you some patches.
There's also I don't know, Bill. Should we let the meat out of the bag, so to speak?
Right here in front of everyone?
I mean, I don't know if it's something that everybody can handle.
I don't even know what sort of meat we're talking about. But
I think I know what meat he's talking about.
Yeah, the mascot.
Oh, I don't know if I have him on this computer.
Do you have something that you can put in front of your the lens of your camera?
Let me see what I can do here. Continue.
Okay. Bill has this. While Bill is looking for something to show, he came up with a mascot.
Pull out that meat
For
Yeah,
a mascot for In the Blind. And yeah, Bill, everybody's asking you to pull out your meat. So while you're looking for your meat to pull out, I don't know if I want to give away the name of the character because I think you have to see it first before the name of the character is revealed.
We'll give you a hint though. Meat is in the name.
Yes. Oh no, that's not it. Hold
Went
on.
way out on a limb with that one.
Yeah.
You
He
might
actually-
be able to guess the other word.
And he actually got a T-shirt made for himself.
Oh, maybe I can find that. Jason, I know I've texted it to you before.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm
God!
looking-
Holy
It is so good.
Exposed.
I feel bad for all the fans who are sitting here wondering what the hell we're talking about.
yeah, maybe carry on to something else. This might take me a moment.
So Caitlin said that she saw Nothing Face open for Pantera at the Hammerstein.
That was
I
probably
bet
with
that show
Jerry.
sucked.
That was with Jerry playing bass, I think. The Pantera tour.
But then it probably did suck.
Well,
It totally sucked. That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, Jerry Montano is a fucking douchebag. Hey Jerry,
Oh my God. I know him.
do you really?
I swear.
Jerry's never been mean to me.
Jerry.
He
So
played in
all
Nothing
right, so we
Face.
have 6 minutes. So Jerry and Todd one night. This is when we were all living together in
Hair,
Chester.
right?
Long, straight, black hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's what a small world. He was a huge Migosh fan.
Oh,
Was he really? No shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And him and John, I remember we were in like LA or something. We were on tour with Migosh. And John and Jerry had this moment where they were just like loving each other, right? Is this the mascot?
It's
Well,
gone.
I just, yeah, Bill's got it. I just texted it to him.
Well, long story short, John would always play super fast, and we would always have to yell at him, and I would have to stomp my feet to keep time. Well, anyways, when Jerry was there, John was trying to show off in front of him, and oh my God, he played everything like triple time for Jerry. Yeah, I know Jerry.
So
Hold on.
Oh, Bill's got it. Bill's got it, Jay. Don't let the don't run. I think Bill's is he gonna share your screen, Bill?
I'm trying. Oh my God. It's making me do all these system preferences. This is
don't even bother. It's a
All right, well, Jay, you got it on your phone. You got it on your phone. Throw it up. So here's Bill wearing his shirt. You got to go way closer. There we go. Yes, look at it.
There he is.
That's space meat.
Space meat.
Space meat.
the
That's Space Meat.
pre-order would probably have been much more successful if we had that shirt available.
Yeah, Space Meat. That is
So, yeah,
outstanding.
So before we jump off, just one more time. So everybody, if you can, I don't know how many people are still listening. Share the link that you have for Spotify. Get your friends to share it, and just get it out there. Try to help us build up a following on that platform. Did Bill just jump off? Did we lose Bill?
Did we lose Bill? Well, hold on. I just want to.
I think Bill's gone.
There's a lot of people on here. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
who joined.
It's been really it's been fun. We should do this more often. But,
Wow.
Yeah,
I got to give a shout out to Tracy Ellegram because I know you're up late. She stayed up late just to watch this. She lives over in England, I believe. So her time is completely different. Yeah, it's late for her. So thank you.
Hey Tracy, thanks for jumping on. Super cool. So there's a bunch of people that jumped on to say hi. It's awesome. So yeah, like just go check out those Spotify links, and if you guys want to grab a t-shirt and shit, that would be awesome too. And there's lots of CDs available and all that stuff. So we will do a vinyl eventually. But yeah, we appreciate you guys jumping on. Mike, are you still out there hanging? There he is. Hey bud.
I guess we lost Bill. Did Bill fall off?
I think he was trying to share that Space Meat.
Yeah, I think he canned himself.
Did he make a spectacular exit? He did that on purpose.
He's gone.
He's gone, and we lost him.
But that's all good. So yeah, everybody, thanks for I'm super pleased that everybody seems to be liking the record, and I think everybody else on here feels the same way. So
yeah,
it's just the beginning. So we'll see where this thing leads. But we're pleased that everybody jumped on, and yeah, check it out. Share it with your friends.
Yes, and thank everybody for the kind words. Awesome. We really appreciate it. Ray, Danielle, Denise. Hi, Denise. She's shocked that I'm on the internet, which is in fact shocking because I avoid social media like the fucking plague. But listen, we really are proud of this album. We hope everybody enjoys it. Share it with your friends. Listen for it on the radio. We're doing a radio campaign. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully, if all goes well, we'll see you out in America and around the world at some point when we've seen a million faces and we've rocked them all. Thank you, John Bon Jovi.
Oh my God. This thing just went off the rails. You had fucking 2 minutes left, and you just fucking.
I ruined it. You're welcome.
It was going so well.
It was perfect. Fucked it all up. Yeah, thanks everybody, and Josh, thank you, man.
And thanks to Mike for setting this up and getting us together. We appreciate it, Mike.
All right.
Did you have anything else, Mike? Are you good?
That's it. That's everything. We're ready to sign off. It was my pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Yep. So yeah.
Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.